Let's start off with CARO. What does CARO stand for? Companies, Auditors, Report, Order. All of you, today you all will shout instead of me. 4 times please say what CARO stands for. Now, what is this Companies Auditors Report Order 2020? What is this? In SA 700, we saw in the contents of the audit report, what did we see? Other reporting requirements. That other reporting requirements only is nothing but CARO. In CARO, how many clauses are there? 21 clauses are there. How are you going to remember all those 21 clauses? Have a kutti story. Anybody remembers the story? Remembers the story? Nobody remembers the story. Don't you remember? There was a very worst fellow. Now, what this worst fellow did, he basically got a land and building. Now, is he going to keep that land and building empty? No. He is going to put the sarakku inside the building. That is nothing but inventory. But how is he going to get this inventory? Is he going to pay by cash or is he going to get the loan? He is a worst fellow, correct? So he is going to get the loan for this inventory from various sources. He is going to get the loan. Now this inventory is got on credit basis. Now if he has gotten the loan, he is supposed to pay the supplier of this inventory. But he is a very worst fellow. So he got the loan and he deposited that money in the bank. But outside he has to show as if he is a very good person. So he maintained his records very well. Maintained his records very well. And always when people are doing fraud, right, they will not say, I will not pay anything to the government. For name's sake, they will pay something so that their company is not getting picked. So he paid the statutory dues on time. But when he paid the statutory dues, they asked the question saying, how are you getting so much income? What happened to all these unrecorded, undisclosed income? Please give me an explanation. Like that they were asking him questions. Now he is forced to repay the loan. Are you able to understand? He is forced to repay the loan. But I already told you he is a very worst fellow. So even if he is forced to repay the loan, he is not going to repay it by himself. He will go for issue proceeds. What is the meaning of issue proceeds? He is basically taking money from the public and he is repaying the loan. So he will go for issue proceeds. Agamotto, whatever he is doing is fraud. Now till here, what did he start off with? With just a land and building, and did he keep that empty? He put all the sarakku inside the land and building. He put the inventory. How did he get the inventory? By way of loans. But when he took the money as loans, did he actually pay for the inventory? No, he put it as deposits to enjoy the interest. And he maintained all the records as if he is a very good boy. He maintained the records and also paid the dues to the government. Now the government is questioning him saying, where is all this income coming from? Undisclosed, unrecorded income. They are questioning him and they're saying, you better stop all your nonsense and repay the loan. But we already know that he is a very worst fellow. So how he is repaying the loan? By way of issue proceeds. So completa, he is a fraud fellow. Now because he is a fraud, he is sent to jail. This is intermission. Okay. Now when he is coming back from jail, is he a changed man? No. He is a very worst fellow. So he will start a Nidhi company. Nidhi company means what? Nidhi companies are companies which is actually very popular in this state. Tamil Nadu state, it is very, very popular. What is the meaning of Nidhi company? For a sect of people or for a group of people, that company itself will take like membership fees from everyone. They will accept the deposits and they will give the loan for these people. So it is like a mini bank, but only for that sector of people. That is Nidhi company. So he is coming out of jail and he is forming a Nidhi company. And how is he forming the Nidhi company? With his mother, father, brother, sister, mother-in-law, father-in-law. Who are they? Related parties. He is forming this Nidhi company with related parties. Now, this company is compulsory to have a internal auditor. Now, this internal auditor is finding out three things which is happening in the company. How many things? This internal auditor is finding out three things. The first one, they are saying there are a lot of non-cash transactions which is happening. He is saying actually you are accepting deposits and giving the money. You are supposed to get registered from RBI, but you are not doing that. Internal auditor is finding out three things. One is non-cash transaction. Second is you have to actually get yourself registered through RBI, and this company is making a lot of cash losses. Lot of cash losses this company is making. So these three observations, who is making? Internal auditor is making these three observations. Now looking at these three observations of the internal auditor, the statutory auditor is getting scared. So what he is doing? He is resigning. The statutory auditor resigns. Now, the statutory auditor, when he is resigning, he needs to give reasons as to why he is resigning. So, he is stating the reasons, saying that the internal auditor has given these three things, and based on that, I am saying that this company will not go on forever. That means, going concern is getting affected. Now, again the going concern is getting affected. Again, he is doing so much of fraud. Now, he is getting scared. Now, what is he getting? Scared. He doesn't want to go to jail again. So he decided he will do good for the society. So he started doing CSR activities. Now he is a transformed person. This very worst person has suddenly become a philanthropist. He has become a transformed person and he has done CSR. Now his company is going concern is getting affected. So finally, he is making a consolidated financial statements and he is seeing how much is incoming, how much he actually has to pay to people, and he is closing all the accounts. Consolidated financial statements. How many points are done? 21 clauses are done. The first one I told you, he is a very worst person and he started off by land and building. The first clause is called as fixed assets. First clause is called as PPE. Even I have written as fixed assets. The second clause is called as inventory. This loans, I told you he is taking from different people, correct? So the third clause is called as LIGs provided. Loans, investments, guarantees, securities. LIGs provided. Fourth clause is also LIGs provided. Section 185, 186. All of you together, then only you will remember the section. Extremely important, easy to score marks if they are asking questions in CARO. Last time they did not ask. Yes, this time definitely they will ask. So LIGs provided, clause number 3. Clause number 4, LIGs provided, section 185, section 186. Clause number 5 is what? Deposits as per section 73 to 76. Deposits as per section 73 to 76. This is clause number 5. Clause number 6 is cost records, section 148, subsection 1. Clear, guys? This is clause number 6. Clause number 7, statutory dues. What I want you to say that as disputed and undisputed statutory dues. Remember that as disputed and undisputed statutory dues. This is clause number 7. What is clause number 8? Undisclosed income. Undisclosed income is clause number 8. Clause number 9, repayment of loan. Clause number 10, issue proceeds by way of IPO and FPO. Clause number 11 is fraud. Now he goes to jail and intermission. When he comes back, what is he doing? He is forming a Nidhi company. That is clause number 12. Clause number 13 is related party transactions under section number 177 and 188. Very good. 177 and 188. Clause number 14 is internal audit. 15, 16, 17 is what this internal auditor is finding. 16, 15, 16 and 17 non-cash transactions, RBI registrations and cash losses. Clause number 18 is resignation of statutory auditor. Then what reason is he saying? Going concern. Clause number 19 is going concern, and now finally he is a transformed person, so he is doing all corporate social responsibility work. That is clause number 20, and 21 is consolidated financial statements. Just one kutti story, and all the 21 clauses are gatam. Now again from the first, clause number 1, clause number 2, clause number 3, LIGs provided, loans, investment, guarantee, securities, that is LIGs provided. Clause number 4, LIGs provided as per section 185, 186. Clause number 5, deposits as per section 73 to 76. Clause number 6, cost records as per section 148 subsection 1. Clause number 7, disputed statutory dues and undisputed statutory dues. Clause number 8, unrecorded income. Clause number 9, repayment of loan. Clause number 10, issue proceeds by way of IPO and FPO. Clause number 11 is fraud. Clause number 12, when he comes back from jail, Nidhi company. Clause number 13, related party transactions as per section 177 and 188. Clause number 14, internal audit. What is 15, 16, 17 is what the internal audit is finding. Non-cash transactions, RBI registrations and cash losses. Again, these 3 points. Non-cash transactions, RBI registrations and cash losses. Again, non-cash transactions, RBI registration and cash losses. What clause is cash losses? Clause 17. What clause is internal audit? Clause 14. Good. Now, after this internal auditor is given, what is the statutory auditor doing? He is resigning. Resignation of statutory auditor is clause number 18. What is clause 19? Going concern. Clause 20, corporate social responsibility. Clause 21, consolidated financial statements. Is that clear? Everybody clear with all the clauses? Can I ask questions? Clause number 5. Clause number 7, disputed statutory dues and undisputed statutory dues. Clause number 10. Fraud is 11. 10 is what? Issue proceeds by way of IPO and FPO. Clause number 13. Related party transactions. Good. Clause number 15. Non-cash transactions. Clause number 21. Consolidated financial statements. Now, which clause talks about related party transactions? Clause number 13. Which clause talks about internal audit? This is how they will ask, because in the case study, they will give you whether they are doing internal audit. They will give you whether there are a lot of cash losses. Then you will have to say which clause number that is. Which clause number kuduthu, they will never say, please explain clause number 13. Never direct question they will ask. In case study, if they talk about inventory, you should give a mapping to clause number 2. If they talk about cost records, then you will be mapping to clause number 6 and section number 148 subsection 1. If they are talking about CSR, then you will give reference to clause number 20. Like that they will give the case study based question. Why I am saying this is, when you go back home, I want you to study this way and not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 means what? Appadi padikada. Fixed asset na which clause? Like that you study. Alright. Now again from the top without seeing. Shall we try? Yes, you got this. Clause number 1. Clause number 2. Clause number 3. Leagues provided. Loans, investments, guarantees, security. Clause number 4. As per section 185, 186. Clause number 6. Clause number கொஞ்சம் லைட்டாக ஒரு ட்விஸ்ட்டு and gone. Clause number 5. Section number 73 to 76. Clause number 6. Cost records number, section number 148, subsection. Clause number 8. Clause number 8. Undisclosed or unrecorded income. Clause number 7. Statutory dues, disputed and undisputed statutory dues. Clause number 9. Repayment of loan 10. Issue proceeds 11. 12. 13. 14. 15, 16, 17. Non-cash transactions, RBI registration and cash losses. Clause number 16. RBI registration. Clause number 18. Resignation of statutory auditor. Clause number 19. Going concern. Clause number 20. CSR. Clause number 21. Consolidated financial statements. Are you getting a grip? Quick 1 minute. Go through it on your own. 1 minute. Go through all the clauses like how I told you to do it. Think for yourself. Shall we start? Shall we start with clause number 1? What is inside? Oh, you thought CARO itself is over. 21 clauses, I know the names now. CARO over. You thought like that. When I'm saying, shall we start? You all are looking at me like, oh, you start. I thought it's over. Oh, inside content also is necessary, right? PP, na, simply if you just write PP, who will give the mark? What they are saying inside CARO, you have to know. So, let's start off. The first clause is talking about PPE, that is fixed assets. Here there are only 6 points, just 6 points under PPE. Quickly I will tell you. The first 2 points is talking about records that he has to maintain, right running notes. The first 2 points is talking about the records that he has to maintain. The first point is talking about records for tangible asset. That means every asset as to the details of the asset and the situation of that asset. That means where is that asset situated. They have to basically say, in this branch, if you go to the first floor, in the right corner, you can see the asset. Asset means what? Asset means what? This computer, is it an asset? That air conditioner, is it an asset? The fans, are they asset? Yes, every fan is an asset which has to be recorded in the books of accounts. Every fan has to be recorded along with full particulars, including the quantitative details and also the situation of that PPE. Situation means where is it located? That information also you will have to give. Now asset means it is not only fixed asset but also intangible asset. Intangible assets, what details you have to give? They are only saying you have to maintain full particulars with respect to intangible asset. So both the first and second point is talking about the records. Now asset nu sonnale physical verification of asset has to be done. That is the next point. Whether these PPE have been physically verified by the management. How frequently they have to verify these asset? At reasonable intervals. Maybe once a month, maybe once in 6 months, that the management knows at reasonable intervals whether they are doing and whether any material discrepancy was noticed, and if it was noticed, whether that effect has been given in the books of accounts, whether it has been dealt with properly. Now asset nu sonnale usually the auditor will be concerned with the ownership of the asset. Why? Ownership of the asset. Because most of the times, you know what will happen, even I have faced this when I went for articles, even before I joined Big Four. I told you 6 months I was in a very small firm. Yes, from that firm when I went for audit, the companies which I went for audit also was very small. Sole proprietor, partnership, only 2 partners are there. Like that, these companies were like that. When I went there, he is showing fridge, washing machine, all of these things as assets. Is there a fridge in the office? No, I was not able to see the fridge. Air conditioner, some 3-4 air conditioner was there. Office there is only one air conditioner, that also not working properly. So I understood that whatever he is buying for his house, he is showing in the books of accounts of the company just to claim depreciation, to not pay taxes to the government. So you have to be bothered about really who is the owner. Is it used for the business only? Title deeds of the immovable property. You have to ask that. Asset no nirundale depreciation will happen, and sometimes revaluation will also happen. If any revaluation happens and if the asset is revalued and the change is more than 10%, then that has to be disclosed separately. The last one is, you know what is binami? Binami. What is the meaning of binami? I am actually purchasing the asset, but if I show it in my name, I have to pay lots of taxes. I need to disclose from where I am getting this money. So I will use somebody else's name. That person is binami. Now, if you are a binami, you have to disclose. Now they will not disclose. Yes or no? So the CARO is saying, if there is any case pending against you under the Binami Transactions Prohibition Act, then the company has to disclose the same in the financial statements. Clear, guys? These 6 points are there. Actually only 5 points, because the first 2 points are talking about records. Records for tangible assets, records for intangible assets. For tangible assets, you are concerned about the quantitative details and also the situation. Here for intangible, you just need the full particulars of the intangible asset. Apart from that, you have to see whether they are physically verified at reasonable intervals, and if there is any material discrepancy, it has to be dealt with properly in the books of accounts. The fourth point is title deeds. In title deeds, they are talking about a format which is given below, because in case if the title deed is not held in the name of the company, please follow this format. Give me the description of the property, whether it is a land, whether it is a building, whether it is furniture. Give me the description. What is the carrying value held in the name of? Give me the name of that person, whether that person is a relative, whether he is a promoter, director, relative, or an employee of this company, and for what period they are holding. Is it for a temporary period? Give me reason why it is not being held in the name of the company. So this details you will have to give with regard to the title deeds of the immovable property. Is that clear with what is given in fixed assets? Just 5 points. First 2 points talking about records, so that's 1 point. Second is physical verification. Third is title deeds. For title deeds, there is a format given below. Fourth is revaluation, and fifth is Binami Transactions Prohibition Act. Is that clear? Shall I move on to the second one? Second one is talking about inventory. Inventory in sonnale, the first point should be Physical verification of inventory. Physical verification at reasonable intervals. Now here they are talking about discrepancies. If there is any discrepancies of 10% or more for each class of inventory, then whether they have been properly dealt with in the books of accounts. The second point is the important point. Whether during any point in time the company has been sanctioned working capital loan of more than 5 crores from banks and financial institutions in aggregate, whether the quarterly returns or statements are filed with the banks are in agreement with the books of accounts. If not, give details. Basically what they are saying is, yesterday only I told you, you can give your stock as collateral and you can take the loans. Yes, when any point in time, if the company has been sanctioned loan for more than 5 crores, if you are taken loan more than 5 crores from banks and from financial institutions, then you have to submit your quarterly returns. You have to submit this with the bank. The company has to submit this with the bank. As an auditor, we have to see whatever this quarterly returns which has been submitted with the bank is as per the books of accounts only. Why they have to see this? Let me tell you. I'll tell you where the fraud will happen here. Say for example, a company has taken a loan of 10 crores. Is this clause applicable? Yes, loan is more than 5 crores. So if loan of 10 crores on the basis of stock they have taken, so stock value should be how much? At least 20 crores. At least double of it. Yes. So stock value is 20 crores. Appdin solli simply he has given a statement to the bank. But whether it is really 20 crores or not, whether in books of accounts, financial statements it is shown as 20 crores or not, auditor has to check. That's why they are saying if the loan is more than 5 crores, there is a rule that he has to file the quarterly returns with the bank. Now as an auditor, we will have to see that the quarterly returns filed with the bank are in agreement with the books of accounts. If not, give the details. Now I have one small question for you. Say for example, the client, first he got 1 crore. In month of April, he got 1 crore. Month of May, he got another 1 crore. Month of June, another 1 crore. Like that, every month he is taking 1 crore loan from the bank. Okay. Now in Jan, he is basically paying off all the money. About 10 crores loan will be there. He is paying off that 10 or 11 crores to the bank and he's made it 0. Now on 31st March, should you do this reporting? Why? Any point in time is given. Whether during any point in time, if he owes more than 5 crores, then this clause is automatically applicable. Is that clear? Now I'm going off to the third clause. Second clause, very easy, only 2 points. Now going to third clause, loans, investments, guarantees, securities. Now please read the first point. Whether during the year the company has provided any loans or advances in the nature of loan, or stood guarantee or given any security to any entity, then please indicate the aggregate amount during the year, balance outstanding at the balance sheet date with respect to loans, advances, guarantees, securities to subsidiary, joint venture and associates. The aggregate amount during the year, the balance outstanding at the balance sheet date with respect to loans, advances, guarantees, securities to other than subsidiary, joint venture and associates. What is he saying? If this company during the year, if they have given the loan, legs provided is what we told, correct? If they have given the loan or they have given a guarantee or any security to another entity, please mention separately if you have given to subsidiary, joint venture or associate, and also mention separately other than subsidiary, joint venture, associate. That's all. Very, very easy. First point. Second, whether investments made, loans or advances given are not prejudicial to the interest of the company. Not prejudicial means what? It is not affecting the interest of the company. Now say I am giving a loan to Gokul and I am saying you pay me 0.5% interest per annum. Is it going to affect me? Yes. Because if I have to give it to somebody else, I will get better returns. Because I'm giving to Gokul, I know him, he is my student, I cannot charge so much money, so 0.5 percentage per annum. Am I behaving against the company? Yes. So it is prejudicial to the interest of the company. As an auditor, we have to see if there is any loans, investments, guarantees, securities given which is prejudicial to the interest of the company. In respect of loans and advances in the nature of loan, whether the schedule of repayment of principal and payment of interest has been stipulated and whether the repayment or receipts are regular. Now the company has given the loan. Now I am giving the loan to Gokul saying, okay, if I give 0.5 percentage, then the auditor is going to report me under CARO clause. So normally 6 percentage interest, I will also give you about 6 percentage only. Now, I did not talk to Gokul when he has to return that money back to me itself. Whenever you want, you return that money back. Your pocket or my pocket. Same only like that. To whom will I give? Only if I know that person I am going to give. So, please report that separately. There must be a schedule for repayment also whenever the company is giving a loan. If amount is overdue, state the amount overdue more than 90 days. Overdue means what? Now I am giving a due date saying in 20 days you have to pay me. Now 20 days cross panni 90 days மேல போயிடுச்சு. Then it is overdue more than 90 days. Overdue means after the due date, it is gone more than 90 days. Then you please mention that separately as to what actions they have taken for the recovery. Whether any loans or advances in the nature of loan has been renewed or extended or fresh loan has been granted to settle the overdues of the existing loan. If so, specify the aggregate amount of dues renewed or extended or fresh loans and the percentage of the aggregate to the total loans or advances. What are they saying? Now, what happened? I am a company. Okay. Now I have taken loan from Isha. Now, Isha, give me 1 crore. Give me. As a faculty, I am asking 1 crore, you are thinking. Give me 1 crore. I kept it in pocket. Now, you ask the money back. What's your name? Chicken pox. Give me 1 crore. Give 1 crore. Give. Give like this. Thank you. Here, Isha, take the money back. Now, you ask the money to me. You give me 1 crore. Now what I am doing, I am taking and I am again giving it to her. So for repaying the loan, I am taking another loan and I am repaying. Now to give to her, I will take another loan and I will repay. They will do like that or not? Government itself is functioning like that only. If you see Indian government, full deficit. They'll take loan from Russia, then to repay that loan from US, then to repay that loan from UK. Everywhere loans, whether they are repaying or not also we don't know. At least here I repaid. Now coming back, whether any loans or advances in nature of loan has been renewed or extended or fresh loan has been granted to settle the overdues of the existing loan. If so, specify the aggregate amount of dues which are renewed, extended or fresh loans and the percentage of the aggregate to the total loans and advances. What is the total loan that I have gotten? That percentage I have to tell with respect to as on 31st March whatever is pending. Now whether the company has granted loans or advances which are repayable on demand or without specifying any terms or period of repayment. If so, specify the aggregate amount. Repayable on demand loans means what? Usually when your friend asks money, you will give the money. Macha, you take it. Hey, when should I return? Return a day. When I want, I'll take from you. You keep it. That's how we are. Usually with friends. That's how we are. Yes or no? Like that if the company is giving the loan. They are saying on demand. Whenever you want, you take from me. If I want, I will again take from you. That is on demand loan. So whether the company has granted loans or advances which are repayable on demand. There is no repayment schedule and all without specifying any terms or period of repayment. If so, specify the aggregate amount, percentage of total loans granted, aggregate amount of loans granted to promoters, related parties, etc. You have to mention. Legs provided, very important. We saw there were how many points? 6 points. The first one is talking about whether during the year the company has provided loans or advances or guarantees or securities to anybody who is a subsidiary joint venture associates or to any other person other than subsidiary joint venture associate. Please mention that separately. Then you, as an auditor, we have to see that it is not prejudicial to the interest of the company. Then we have to see whether there is a schedule for the repayment of the loan. Then we have to see whether if it is any overdue, especially if it is overdue more than 90 days, then how are they taking the steps for the recovery, we will have to see. Then if there is any loan which has been renewed or any loan which has been extended or a fresh loan which has been obtained to pay off this person, then you have to mention what? Aggregate, percentage of the aggregate to the total loans or advances. Last one, if there is any loan which is repayable on demand, then also aggregate amount you will have to mention, and if there is any loan given to promoters or other related parties on demand, mention that separately. This is leaks provided, clause number 3. Clause number 4, leaks provided section 185, 186, that's it, clause over. See inside, in respect of loans, investment guarantees or securities, whether the provisions of section 185 and 186 of the Companies Act have been complied with. If not, provide the details thereof. That's it. So wherever you read the section numbers at that time, when the story came, that time itself you read the section number for deposits, for cost records, related party transactions, leaks provided, all of this you read. Wherever you learnt the section number that time, kashtapattiya, now you are happy. Clear? Kutti story inside this itself. Deposit section 73 to 76. In respect of deposits accepted by the company, whether provisions of section 73 to 76 have been complied with. Cost record section 148 subsection 1. Whether the maintenance of cost records is as per section 148 subsection 1 of the Companies Act. Simple. 6 clauses over. Now coming to the 7th clause. 7th clause is statutory dues, disputed statutory dues and undisputed statutory dues. What is the meaning of disputed and undisputed? Where statutory dues have not been deposited on account of any dispute, then you have to mention the amount and the forum where dispute is pending. Undisputed statutory dues means whether the company is regular in depositing the dues, including GST, PF, sales tax, employee state insurance, customs, excise duty and any other statutory due to the appropriate authorities. If not, the extent of arrears on the last day of the financial year which is outstanding for a period more than 6 months from the date that they have become payable. Now, did you understand the difference between disputed and undisputed statutory dues? Now, I'll tell you a small example. Usually, TDS, you all know TDS. When should you pay TDS? Every month, the next month 7th kulla you have to pay the TDS. In case you have not paid the TDS. In case if you have not paid the TDS as on the next month 7 and it is outstanding for more than 6 months, then that is an undisputed statutory due. Now that same TDS, a commissioner has sent a notice to you saying, hello, you actually collected the TDS but you do not pay to the government. Now is the time for you to pay it. Like that they are sending you a notice and you are saying, no, I never collected. I never even detected the TDS. I first of all gave off the entire money. Like that you are fighting with the government. There is a dispute there. If there is a dispute, you please mention the amount and the forum, whether it is a dispute under Income Tax Appellate Tribunal or GST Appellate Tribunal, Supreme Court la I am fighting, High Court la I am fighting. Like that you mention the forum there and the amount involved. Undisputed means what? It is just outstanding for a period of more than 6 months. GST also, quarterly you have to pay to the government. You are collecting the GST from people, from everybody is paying the GST. No, GST is the only tax. I hate it. I hate that GST. Not because subject is difficult and all. If you see income tax, there is slab rate. People who are not earning that much, they need not pay. Till that 5 lakhs exempted, then 5 to 10 lakhs, little bit only, one small percentage of your income you pay. Then if you are earning lot of money, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs if you are earning, then only you have to pay 30%. There is a distinction of taxes that each person is paying based on the income that they are receiving. But GST, if you see, everybody, whether or not there is income, you guys are also paying GST. Why should you pay GST when you are students? You are paying or not without even knowing you are paying. That is even worst. That's why I hate that GST. Undisputed statutory dues means whether the company is regular in depositing all the tax. If they are not regular and if the period has crossed more than how many months? 6 months period, then you have to mention for how many days it is there and what is that dispute, everything you have to tell. Undisclosed income, whether any transactions not recorded in the books of accounts have been surrendered or disclosed as income during the year. If so, whether the previously unrecorded income has been properly recorded in the books of accounts during the year. Now, if you remember, demonetization happened. You remember what happened when demonetization happened? 2000 rupee note la inime selladu. Like that, 500 rupee note. 500 and 1000. 2000 also. Oh, 2000 came that time. 500 and 1000 la inime selladu, like that they told. And they also said, if you are having any cash, you please deposit now itself in the bank. No questions asked. How you got that income? No questions asked. You just deposit in the bank and you pay the taxes. 30% taxes you pay. So what everybody said, everybody thought, now at least let me make this white. It's okay, I will pay the taxes. No questions asked, no penalty, no interest, nothing. No questions asked. That rule was put. So what? Few people, they made use of that opportunity and they actually went and deposited the money. In case if they deposited and now they are okay to pay the taxes, previously it was undisclosed income. That's why it was as cash. Correct? It was undisclosed, unrecorded income. How have they dealt that in the books of accounts? They have to see. Now read this. Whether any transaction not recorded have been surrendered. Now I am saying, okay, I will pay the tax. I am surrendering the money. Or disclosed as income during the year. If so, whether the previously unrecorded income, previously you did not record, but some sale had happened previously. That's how you got this cash. How did you bring that in the books of accounts right now? Has been properly recorded in the books of accounts during the year. Are you able to understand? This is clause number 8. Coming to clause number 9, repayment of loan. What are they saying in repayment of loan? Now, the previous one in leaks provided, the company gave the loan. Here, the company got the loan and they have to repay the loan. You understood the difference? Here, whether the company has defaulted in repayment of loans. They have got the loan but they did not repay the loan properly. In the payment of interest, loan or interest also, they have defaulted. If yes, then the period you have to mention and the amount of default, again a dabba is given format. What is the nature of the borrowing? Who is the lender who gave you the money? What is the amount that you defaulted? Whether this amount is a principal amount or the interest amount? What is the delay, number of days of delay, and any remarks if you have to give. This box you have to memorize. It is a mandate that you have to follow, correct? So next is whether the company has been declared as willful defaulter. What is the meaning of willful defaulter? Vijay Mallya, you all know, he got so much of loans but he did not pay the money. Does that mean that he does not have the money? அவன் ஜாலியாக ஃப்ளைட்டில் டூர் போயிட்டுருக்கான். யூகே போகிறான், சம்வேர் எல்ஸ் ஹீஸ் கோயிங், ஆஸ்திரேலியா போகிறான், நெக்ஸ்ட் டே ஹீஸ் இன் நியூசிலாண்ட், நெக்ஸ்ட் டே பார்த்தா யூஎஸில் இருக்கான், இஷ்டத்துக்கு டூர் போயிட்டுருக்கான். பட் ஹீ இஸ் நாட் ரீபேயிங் த லோன். தட் மீன்ஸ் வச்சுட்டே இல்லைன்னு சொல்கிறான். Some people will be there. If you ask for notes, they'll have the notes. But still, I didn't write. I cannot give. Some stories they'll tell. Correct or no? That is willful defaulter. Vechite he is saying he cannot give. There is one more person. You know Geetanjali Gems. Nirav Modi. Nirav Modi. What he did? Scam. What scam he did? Diamond scam. He got letter of undertakings from PNB, Punjab National Bank ku poi, in India Punjab National Bank he went and he got letter of undertaking saying, you please check my assets and say what is my worth, my net worth. And then Punjab National Bank gave that letter of undertaking. Now, with this letter of undertaking, he went to the Punjab National Bank in UK or Europe, some other country he went and said, listen here, your bank only has given this letter of undertaking. See how much of assets I have. There is proof. Now give me the loan. Now no questions asked. Already everything is verified by PNB in India. So they gave off crores of loan. Crores and crores of loan they gave. And what did he do? Ran away. He said, I will not repay that. That does not mean he does not have the money. That only means he is a willful defaulter. Vechite he is saying, I will not repay. Now, if the company that you are going for audit, if that is a willful defaulter, you please mention it under CARO under clause number 9. Now, the first point we saw, if this company has been defaulted in repayment of loan or the interest component. The second point we are seeing is if the company has been declared as willful defaulter. Third, whether term loan were applied for the purpose for which it was obtained. Otherwise, you please mention the amount diverted and the purpose of usage. Usually, term loan, if you are saying, I want to construct an office space. I want to construct a new office space. Give me loan of 20 crores. I went to the bank and asked. Bank gave loan of 20 crores. I constructed space, but it is not office space. It is my house. Huge house. A palace I built for myself. Term loan, what I told? I told I'm going to construct for my business, but I took for myself. Or listen to this other scenario. 20 crores I'm saying I'll take for business. I constructed for business. Last 2 floors of that building I made a house. So I don't have to travel. I'll just press the button, lift button, and I will just come down. Like that, they made it. So even if it is like that, if it is not used for the purpose for which it is obtained, please mention the amount that has been diverted. Out of 20 crores, 2 crores you have used for your own house. Like that, you please mention the amount which has been diverted and the purpose of usage. Whether short-term loans have been used for long-term purposes. Mention the nature of amount. Why is this important? Why is this important? Why is it not the other way around? Why have they not spoken about whether long-term loans have been used for short-term purposes and only the short-term loan used for long-term purposes? I'll tell you, short-term loan means you have to repay within a period of 12 months. Within 12 months, you have to repay that loan. But if you are going to use that loan for long-term purposes, now benefit from that purpose, you are going to get it maybe after 5 years. So how are you going to repay this short-term loan which is going to fall due within a period of 12 months? There is a problem. So mention it separately under CARO clause. Whether short-term loan have been used for long-term purposes. Whether the company has taken any funds from any entity or person to meet the obligation of its subsidiary, associate or joint venture. Now what are they saying? Subsidiary joint venture needs funds, but I am taking the loan and routing it to my subsidiary and joint venture. If it is like that, you please mention what is the detail and the amount. Now the other way is also possible. The subsidiary is taking the loan and routing it for me. That is the next point. Whether the company has raised any loan during the year on the pledge of securities held in its subsidiary, joint venture or associates company. Because of that security, I am getting the money. I am routing it through that way. Then give the details and also if the company has defaulted in the repayment of such loans. Clear guys? This is clause number 9, repayment of loan. Just 6 points. Is it overloaded or okay? Okay. Now repayment of loan, we saw that whether the company has been defaulted of the loan amount or the interest amount, and format is given below. Second point, whether he is a willful defaulter. Third, whether term loan was applied for that purpose only. If there is any deviation, what is the amount which has been diverted and the purpose and the usage you please mention. Fourth is whether short-term loans have been used for long-term purposes. And fifth is whether the company has taken any funds for the obligation of subsidiary, joint venture or associates. And the last one is whether they have taken loans by way of the By way of the equity, they've kept as security and then they have taken the loans. Then that also you have to mention. Is that clear? Clause number 9. Clause number 10 is issue proceeds. Issue proceeds by way of IPO and FPO. Usually, whenever there is an IPO or an FPO, there will be something called as prospectus. What is the prospectus going to say? What is a prospectus basically? Prospectus is like an invitation. Yes or no? Prospectus is like an invitation saying this is the purpose for which I need the funds. This is the purpose for which I'm raising the money from public. This is the purpose for which I'm going for IPO. If you are interested in this purpose, you please put your money here. Like that, I'll be making a prospectus. Now, in that prospectus, there is a purpose. Yes, so the money which has been taken from the public has to be used for that purpose only. That is the first point. Whether money raised by way of IPO or by way of FPO were used for the same purpose for which it was obtained for. If not, give the details together with delay or default and subsequent rectification, even if it has been rectified later on. Case study based question. Later it was rectified, then should you have to mention under CARO? Yes. And subsequent rectification also needs to be reported separately under CARO. Clear? Now, this is section number, whether company has made preferential allotment or private placement of shares or convertible debentures, then sections 42 and 62 have to be complied with. So, IPO, FPO, there are 2 points. The first one is purpose. Second is section number 42 and 62. Clause number 11, whether there is any fraud which is done by the company. So, this fraud is by the company or any fraud on the company. That means what? In the company fraud panirka, illa somebody else's did the fraud on the company. Both the things are covered under this clause. Whether any fraud by the company or any fraud on the company has been noticed or reported during the year. If yes, please mention the nature and the amount of the fraud involved. Next is section number 143, subsection 12, whether it has been followed. This 143 subsection 12 is actually a section under Companies Act. Now, company audit, you all asked me what are the sections. This is one of the sections which is there, 143 subsection 12. Now, here itself I am telling you what is 143 subsection 12 saying. You as an auditor have to see if the amount of fraud is less than 1 crore or more than or equal to 1 crore. If it is less than 1 crore, the auditor has to tell the audit committee or board of director. If it is more than or equal to 1 crore, then the auditor has to mention that in form number ADT 4 to the central government. Is that okay? This only is given in section 143 subsection 12. Extremely important. Very, 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 very important. Clause number 11 itself is important. Whether any report under section 143 subsection 12 of the Companies Act has been filed in form number ADT 4, you have to mention that separately. Under clause 11 fraud, they are talking about any fraud by the company or any fraud on the company. They are also talking about 143 subsection 12, where the amount of fraud involved is less than 1 crore or more than equal to 1 crore. If it is less than 1 crore, then the auditor has to the audit committee and the board of directors, and if it is more than or equal to 1 crore, to the inform the central government in form number ADT 4. Now, the last point is also important. Now, before I go to the last point, how many of you all studied whatever happened yesterday? Studied whatever? Did you study? Did you study? Revised? Half. Everyone half. Or full? Fully I was able to revise, ma'am. Did I say down? Fully up? Fully revised? Others? Others? What did you do this morning? If you studied some other subject, at least it's okay. But if you did not do anything and if you just woke up and came to class, really I'm telling, only last 30 to 40 days is there. If this time also you are not willing to put in that hard work, nobody can save. Really, I'm telling. Please put in that hard work. Last 30, 40 days, last leg. If you put the efforts now, later you can enjoy. Yes or no? Put your hands down. As days go by, the number of hands which is going up is also reducing. First day at least almost everybody revised and came. Motivation was high, ma'am. First day. Audit அப்படியே 5 daysல கிழிச்சிரலாம் நினைச்சேன். But third, fourth day, as it keeps going, motivation keeps dropping. Yes or no? Please, please, guys, tell yourself every single day if you want, maintain, have a count of number of days which is pending. Or somebody take that responsibility to put it in the group. 40 days pending. 20 days pending. 10 days pending. Somebody will take that responsibility. It will actually help. It will actually help. Do you believe in it or not? When you see that, there will be some kind of a fear. Yes or no? And other people are also there in the group. Accounts, law, DT. They will also know. Oh, you are actually helping so many other students. Who will take that responsibility to put it in the group? Now, இன்னைக்கே நான் போய் அந்த group mute பண்ணிடுறேன் ma'am. Please don't do all of those things. Let one person just put the number of days which is pending, count it. For group 1 separately you put, for group 2 separately you put. Who will put? From boys. Good, Gokul. Josephine, you will put? If Gokul doesn't put, Josephine will put. Okay? Every day, I want the number of days pending for your exam, starting from today. Today. Tomorrow never comes. Yes, starting from today, you start putting. Now, whether the auditor has considered any whistleblower complaints received during the year by the company. 10 போட்டிருக்கு. Whether the auditor has considered any whistleblower complaints. What is the meaning of whistleblower? Usually, if I ask, did everybody studied? Yesterday also some guy there. Ma'am, Santosh ma'am, he said. Are you Santoshna? Illa. பக்கத்தில் இருக்கிற. What is he saying? போட்டு கொடுத்துfying the other person. That is only whistleblower. In company, if something is going wrong, employees there, sometimes they will blow the whistle and they will show everyone what is actually happening in the company. Some people will be like that. They will be ethical. They can't stand it if something unethical is happening around them. So they will tell everyone. That is called as, telling everyone is called as blowing the whistle, whistleblower. If there is any whistleblower complaints, then the auditor has to consider that and mention that there was this whistleblower, there was this employee who said that this fraud happened. Like that in CARO reporting, you will have to mention. Is that clear? Can I proceed forward? We are done with 11 clauses. With this interval, yes or no? With this in our story, interval. So again from the top, I will just revise everything, then only move forward. Illana 21st class mudichande, first class ennan keta, you all will be like, ma'am, I don't know, ma'am. Now we started off with the clause number 1, which is PPE, fixed assets. The first point is he has to maintain the records for tangible as well as intangible asset. Tangible with respect to all the details and also the situation, and intangible asset full particulars. Next he has to see the physical verification whether it is done at reasonable intervals. Next he has to see the title deeds, and there is a format which is given below. Then revaluation, if the change is more than 10%, he has to mention that. Then Binami Transactions Prohibition Act, and the act keela, if there is any proceedings pending, he has to mention that as well. Next we enter clause number 2, inventories. Inventory in sonale, physical verification of inventory whether it is done at reasonable interval, and if there is any discrepancy more than 10%, easy. Revaluation also on top, same percentage. Here also same percentage, very very easy. The second point in inventory, whether at any point in time, if they have taken a working capital loan of more than 5 crores, then they have to file the quarterly statement with the banks and financial institutions. The auditor has to check whether that quarterly statement filed is as per the books of accounts. Simple. Third is loans, investments, guarantees, securities. Leaks provided to subsidiary joint venture associate and other than subsidiary joint venture associate. You please mention that separately. Then auditor has to see whether the loans, investment guarantee securities are not prejudicial to the interest of the company, whether there is a schedule for the repayment of the loan and the interest. If any loan is overdue more than 90 days, mention that separately. If any loan has been renewed or extended, or a fresh loan has been taken to repay this loan, then you mention that separately. Another point I missed to tell here, this point is not applicable to companies whose principal business is to give loans itself. That means they are acting like a bank or NBFC. In that case, this point is not applicable. The first one also, where we said if there is any leaks provided to subsidiary joint venture associate other than subsidiary joint venture associate, if they are giving, if the principal business itself is to give the loans, then this point is not applicable. Please make note, there are two like that. They can twist you and ask like that. Clear? They can twist you and ask. They will say there is a company whose principal business is to give the loans, and he has given to subsidiary joint venture associates and also to all the other people. And what is the other clause? He has taken fresh loan and he has repaid. Like this, he'll make a big story, and then he himself will say CARO reporting. You will write the clause number and all perfectly. Clause number 3, loans, investment guarantee securities. When you need to see that principal business is giving the loan. So you have to write the entire clause, and then conclusionally you will be writing this clause is not applicable if the principal business is to give the loans. Clause number 4, leaks provided 180. Oh, I did not go through the last point. Whether the company, if they have given the loan on which is repayable on demand, because on demand loans and all usually will be giving only for known people and friends. So mention that separately. Clause number 4, leaks provided section 185, 186. Clause number 5, deposit section number 73 to 76. Clause number 6, cost record section 148, subsection 1. Clause number 7, statutory dues, disputed and undisputed statutory dues. Dispute means there is a fight going on. That means you have paid the tax, but the government is saying this is not this much, you have to pay so much more. If there is a fight going on, then you please mention the amount and the forum where the dispute is pending. Undisputed statutory due means if it is outstanding more than 6 months period, you mention that. Undisclosed income, during the year you have surrendered or disclosed any unrecorded income previously, whether that has been dealt with properly in the books of accounts of that year, you have to see. Clause number 9 is repayment of loan. If the company has defaulted in the repayment of the loan amount or the interest amount, you have to mention that, and there is a format which is given below. Then you will be seeing whether this company is a willful defaulter. I hope you understood what is the meaning of the term willful defaulter, because in case study they will not directly say he is a willful defaulter. They will say he has the money, but he is saying he will not repay the money. Now it should immediately strike for you. Okay, this guy is a willful defaulter. So CARO clause number 9 will be applicable. They have to make this regulatory requirement. They have to mention that. All these things should come to your head. Whether term loans were applied only for that purpose, or if there is any amount which has been diverted, for what purpose, whether it has been diverted. Whether short term loans have been used for long term purposes, you have to mention. Next, if they have, whether the company has taken funds to meet the obligation of subsidiary joint venture associates, or whether they have taken the funds with the security which is there in the security is the equity which is there in the subsidiary joint venture associate. Issue proceeds by way of IPO, FPO. First one is purpose for which you are using. Second one is preferential allotment, private placement, section 42 and section 62. Clause number 11, whether fraud on the company or fraud by the company, both are covered here. And then whether any report under section 143 subsection 12, if it is there. What is 143 subsection 12? If it is less than 1 crore, the auditor has to report to audit committee or board of directors. If it is more than 1 crore, then to the central government in form number ADT 4. Whether any auditor has considered any whistleblower complaints received during the year also, he has to see. Clear? Interval over. Let's proceed forward to the second half of the movie. Clause number 12. Clause number 12 is Nidhi company. Here they are saying some ratios which you have to remember. Whether the Nidhi company has complied with net owned funds is to deposits in the ratio of 1:20. Nidhi company would work in, they are going to take the money from all the people as deposits, and they are going to give it to the sector which they are actually formed for. Yes or no? Now whatever deposits that they are taking from other people, that can be there, but own funds should be at least one part for the 20 parts that you are taking as deposits from the other people. Own funds must be there. You cannot simply take only from other people and benefit only your sector. So net own funds is to deposit has to be in the ratio of 1:20. Whether Nidhi company is maintaining 10 percentage unencumbered term deposits as specified in Nidhi rules to meet out the liability. What is the meaning of unencumbered term deposits? Usually, if you have a fixed deposit, what you can do is you can give that fixed deposit itself as a security to get a OD facility. Overdraft facility you can take from the same bank, not even disturbing that fixed deposit. Yes or no? Because FD is giving you interest. You don't want to disturb that, let that be there. But you keep that as your security and give me a overdraft facility. Like that, if they are having term deposits, they should maintain at least 10 percentage, which should not be given as security. 10 percentage should be unencumbered. It should not be given as security. That is unencumbered term deposits. Whether there has been any default in repayment of payment of interest or details thereof. Nidhi company also one of the most important clauses. It was tested, I think, 3 attempts ago, or Jan last year it was tested. Nidhi company. Whether Nidhi company has complied with net own funds is to deposits in the ratio of 1:20. Whether Nidhi company is maintaining 10 percentage of unencumbered term deposits. Whether there has been any default in the repayment or payment of interest, then details has to be given thereof. Next, related party transaction. What is the section number? 177, 188. With that itself is over. Whether all complaints under section 177 and 188 have been complied with. Internal audit. Now, internal audit means what? Internal auditors are like a management, or they are third parties, complete outsiders. They should be independent. They are like the management only. And to become an internal auditor, should you be a chartered accountant? Not necessary, but a chartered accountant can be an internal auditor. Yes, and whenever there is an internal auditor which is there who is like the management, they will be helping in the internal controls. They will be helping how the sales has to be done. They will be helping in the preparation and presentation of the financial statements. Possible? Yes, very much possible. They are like the management. Management is usually responsible for preparation and presentation of the financial statement. So the internal auditor can do that. Say for example, a company who is having only 2 partners. The first company, I told you, the first 6 months where I did articleship, when I went to the client, all the clients were either sole proprietor or maximum 2 people will be there in that company. So a company like that, there is only one internal auditor. Is that okay? Yes, it is okay. But when I went to KPMG, the first client itself was Daimler AG. Huge company. There, 10,000 crores turnover they are making. There, if they come and tell me only one internal auditor, can I accept that? How can one internal auditor take care of such a big company? You will be getting that doubt. Whether the company has an internal audit system which is commensurate with the size and the nature of business. Size is so much. Internal audit team is so small. They cannot do anything. They will not have a voice at all. All these things the statutory auditor has to check. Whether the company has an internal audit system which is commensurate with the size and nature of the business. And statutory auditor, can he consider the report of the internal auditor? Yes, in SA 610 you will be reading as to how he can rely on the report of the internal auditor and what are all the cases, you should not rely, and whether you can use him for direct assistance. All those things you will be reading in SA 610. So whether the report of internal auditor was considered by the statutory auditor. This is the compulsion that the statutory auditor has to. No. It is not compulsory that the statutory auditor has to consider the report of the internal auditor, but if he has considered, you please mention that in CARO clause number 14. Clause number 15, non-cash transaction, section number 192. Whether the company has entered into any non-cash transactions with directors or persons connected with him, and if so, whether provisions of section 192 have been complied with. Now coming to clause number 16, which is RBI registration. Now here internal auditor is finding 3 things, correct? What are the 3 things? Non-cash transaction, RBI registration and Cash losses. We are done with non-cash transaction. Next is RBI registration. Whether the company is required to be registered under section 45IA of the RBI Act, and if so, whether the registration has been obtained. Whether this company has to be registered under 45 of the RBI Act, that means, is he accepting deposits from public? Is he giving the loans to the public? Is he acting like a bank and not getting himself registered under section 45IA of the RBI Act? Then please mention here. Whether the company has undertaken any non-banking financial or housing financial activities without a valid certificate of registration. NBFCs are there, correct? They are not a bank. Non-banking financial or housing financial activities. Only if you want to build a house, I will give you small loans. 10 lakh loan, I'll give 20 lakhs loan. Like that, housing financial activity. Now those people also, they need to get a certificate from RBI. If they are doing any activity of non-banking financial or housing financial activity, and if they're not getting the certificate from RBI, you please mention under clause number 16 here. Whether the company is a core investment company as defined in the regulations made by RBI. If so, whether it fulfills the criteria. Now you need to know what is the meaning of core investment company. What is CIC? What is core investment company? Now you know that Tata is there, correct? Tata is there. How many segments are there in Tata? How many companies are there in Tata? Tanishq is a company of Tata. Titan is a company of Tata. Tata Sons is the core investment company. Directly don't go to climax. Tata Steel is there. Textiles is there. Yes. Westside Zudio Textile is there. Tata Salt is there. Huge business. Yes. Now all of these companies, actually Tata Sons is the person who holds equity in all of these companies. And do you know something? Tata Sons 66% actually goes to philanthropist activities. That means they are doing good for the society. So next time when you get a expensive coffee from Starbucks, what will you say? I am doing good for the society. 500 rupees coffee illa. 300 rupees na nalladhu senjirken. 200 rupees the coffee oda cost. Like that you can convince yourself. Really. You can go to Tata Sons website and see. You want me to show you? Their website itself is so beautiful. The world looks best in a portrait mode. So does our website. Please tilt. See, website is so beautiful. The way they're asking you to tilt also is nice. See, Tata Sons. It is the principal investment holding company and the promoter. Under that, what have they written? 66% of the equity share capital of Tata Sons is held by... Ayyo, something happened. 66% of the equity share capital is held by philanthropic trust, which supports education, supports health, supports livelihood generation, supports art, and supports even culture. Now, how beautiful are Tata companies? It is my favorite brand actually. I love all Tata products. Anything you see, electronics, Chroma is there. All good quality products. Westside you see, good quality. This kurta also from Westside only. Good quality. Very good quality it is. For more than 2 years I am using, and almost every other week I will be using this. Again, repeat. Pote. Like that. But still if you see, it will look like new one. Yes or no? Because it's good quality and not so expensive. Only 1000 rupees top and bottom. Together 1000 rupees. In sale I got. Yes sir. So, core investment company, you know the meaning. Yes, whether the company is a core investment company as defined in the regulations made by the RBI. If so, whether it fulfills the criteria. If the group has more than one core investment company, till now I have not seen any group which has more than one core investment company. I have done audit of Infosys, Wipro, Cognizant, Daimler, Hyundai. Not even one company, I've seen more than one core investment company, but if they have, you please mention that in CARO as part of the group. If yes, indicate the number of core investments company. You don't even have to tell the name. Just say the number of core investments company as part of the group. Is that okay? Going to clause number 17, cash losses. Whether the company has incurred cash losses in the financial year and the immediately preceding financial year. Usually cash losses, there is no section number and all here, but what you have to notice, they are also talking about the immediately preceding financial year here. If so, state the amount of cash losses. That's it. Simple point. Clause number 18, resignation of statutory auditor. Now, if a statutory auditor has resigned, that means there is a terrible problem with the company, because simply they are not going to resign. Whether there has been resignation, if so, now you are the new auditor, did you consider the reasons as to why the previous auditor has resigned? Whether the auditor has taken into consideration the issues, objections or concerns which is raised by the outgoing auditors, you will have to see. Clause number 19 is going concern. On the basis of the financial ratios, aging and expected dates of realization of financial assets and the payment of financial liability, whether the auditor is of the opinion that no material uncertainty exists as on the date of audit report, that company is capable of meeting its liabilities existing at the date of balance sheet as and when they fall due within a period of 1 year. So you're basically saying whether there is a material uncertainty and whether this company is able to give out all the liabilities as and when they fall due or within a period of 1 year. Clear? Next is CSR activities, clause number 20. Now in CSR activity, I am going to split it into two, because on 31st March, CSR means what? Corporate social responsibility means what? The law is saying if you are a big company, the law is saying if you are a big company, I'm not getting into the limits and all. If you are a big company, you have lots and lots of money, do some good for the society. 2% of your average net profits of your preceding 3 years, you please keep that aside for doing good for the society. So now, all the companies who have started doing good for the society, this good can be by way of education, it can be by way of laying of roads in villages. Yes, it can be anything. It can be constructing a school in a village. Yes, it can be anything. Now, can this be done within a period of 1 year itself? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It will be a ongoing project. As on 31st March, correcta mudikinona, it is not possible practically. That is why CSR is split into two. Other than ongoing project and ongoing project. Other than ongoing project means it has been completed. Whether in respect of other than ongoing project, the company has transferred the unspent amount to a fund specified under Schedule 7 of the Companies Act within a period of 6 months to the expiry of the financial year. That means 31st March financial year is getting over now. 6 months from then. When is that? 30th of September. Before 30th of September, you have to transfer it to this fund which is specified under Schedule 7. In compliance with second proviso of the section 135 subsection 5. You can just remember this section 135 subsection 5 is saying what? Unspent amount has to go to Schedule 7. This means what? CSR nu solli you have kept 3 crores. Naattukku nalladum pannita, but you spent only 2 crores. The remaining 1 crore is there. You please put that in this fund which is given under Schedule 7. Is that clear? Going to the next one, which is ongoing project. Ongoing means you started constructing the building in September only. In March end, it is not yet over. So what should you do? Whether any amount remaining unspent pursuant to any ongoing project, it has to be transferred to a special account under 135 subsection 6. 135 subsection 5 na project has been completed and remaining money is there other than ongoing project. 135 subsection 6 na project is still ongoing and remaining money is there which has to be used for that project. In that case, you have to follow the provisions of 135 subsection 6. So CSR, from now you're going to say 135 subsection 5 and 135 subsection 6. The last clause, consolidated financial statements. Whether there have been any qualification or adverse remark by the respective auditor under CARO in the consolidated financial statements. If yes, indicate the details of the company and para numbers of CARO report. What are they saying? When the company is having the consolidated financial statement, for that again you will be doing CARO. Again there will be a separate report for consolidated financial statements. In that separate report, if there is a qualified or a adverse remark under CARO there is a qualification. That means he is a willful defaulter. They said that in the consolidated financial statement. There is a qualified or adverse remark under CARO. If it is there in your consolidated financial statements of Tata, now you are just looking at Tanishq. In that also, you please give the details of the company as to where you have seen that qualification and give me the para number of CARO report. There they'll be mentioning clause number 9. Like that they'll mention. Clause number 9 is what? Repayment of loan, because willful defaulter example I said, willful defaulter comes under repayment of loan, clause number 9. Like that they will just mention the para number. Is that clear? This is clause number 21. We have to revise post the break. Correct? Post interval we have to revise. Till 11 you should be thorough. From 12 we saw Nidhi company. There were just 3 points. 1:20 ratio they have to maintain for net owned funds is to deposits, and they have to maintain 10% unencumbered term deposits, and if there is any default in the repayment of payment of interest, then they have to give the details thereof. Related party transaction section number 177 and 188. Internal audit. Please see the size and nature of the business, whether it is commensurate. The internal audit department is commensurate to the size and nature. And if the statutory auditor has considered the reports of the internal auditor. Non-cash transaction section number 192. RBI registration, first one. Whether it has to be registered under section 45IA of the RBI Act, and whether the company has undertaken any non-banking financial or housing financial activity, then they have to get a certificate from the RBI, whether there is a core investment company, whether the group itself has a core investment company. If there is more than one, mention that also. Cash losses, you have to see for this year and also the immediately preceding financial year, the amount of cash loss you have to mention. If there is a resignation of statutory auditor in this year, now as a new auditor, I have to consider what is the issue he had, what is the objection he had, what is the concern he had, and I will be considering that also. Going concern, whether material uncertainty exists and whether all the liabilities can be paid off within a period of 1 year. CSR activity, section number 135 subsection 5 and 135 subsection 6. 135 subsection 5 is for a project which is already completed. That means other than ongoing project. Where will you put that? In a fund which is under schedule number 7. Now ongoing project, now 135 subsection 6. Special account, okay. Special account under 135 subsection 6. Consolidated financial statements, you just have to give the see if there is any qualified or adverse remark. Then if there is, then that para number of the CARO reporting you will have to mention here. Is that clear, guys? Yes. Easy, difficult, hard? Is CARO over? No. Applicability part is still there. Ella mudichu kadasila மண்ட மேல இருக்கிற கொண்டைய do not forget. Application of CARO. CARO is not applicable for all the companies. It is applicable only for big companies. Please remember, it is applicable only for big companies. Now what is that big company? I am going to tell you. It shall refer to every company including a foreign company. Every company including a foreign company. Foreign companies usually they are bigger, yes or no? Yes, except banking company as defined in section 5C of the Banking Regulation Act. So banking companies CARO irka? No. Insurance company as defined under the Insurance Act. Insurance company CARO irka? Illa. Section 8 company CARO irka? 1% company CARO irka? No. Small company, is CARO there? No. What are the limits of small company? Paid up share capital is less than or equal to 4 crores and turnover of the previous year is less than or equal to 40 crores. 440 on the other side. 4 on one side, 40 on the other side. Remember like that. Small company is paid up share capital is less than or equal to 4 crores and turnover is less than or equal to 40 crores. The next one is the important one. Read here, a private limited company, not being a subsidiary or holding company of a public company, having paid up share capital and reserves and surplus, not more than 1 crore rupees as at balance sheet date, and which does not have borrowings exceeding 1 crore from any bank or financial institution at any point in time during the financial year, and which does not have a total revenue as disclosed in Schedule 3 to the Companies Act, including revenue from discontinuing operations exceeding 10 crore rupees during the financial year as per the financial statements. What is he actually saying? The first part, what he is saying, let me tell you. A private limited company, now I am explaining this part, not being a subsidiary or holding company of a public company. All of you, please listen. Now, private limited company is there. Now, there is H1 here, holding company, and this is a public company. Usually, public companies are all big companies. Public companies are all big companies. Now, if there is a public company, who is the holding company of this private limited company? You don't even have to see the limits of this private limited company. Automatically, they become applicable to CARO. Now, on the other hand, this private limited company has a subsidiary company. This is also a public company. Now leave this scenario, only this scenario which is under the box. This private limited company is having a subsidiary company which is a public company. Public companies are big companies. They have relationship with big companies. That means they are also a big company. CARO automatically becomes applicable to them. Now just read the point, the first sentence. A private limited company not being, we are under exceptions. We are under exceptions except a private limited company not being a subsidiary or holding company of a public company. The exception will apply only if public company is not in picture. If a public company is in picture, automatically they are a big company. So CARO is applicable. Having a paid up share capital and reserves and surplus not more than 1 crore rupees. That means not more than means what? Less than or equal to. So paid up share capital plus reserves and surplus less than or equal to how much? 1 crore rupees as on the balance sheet date. Okay, and which does not have borrowings exceeding 1 crore rupees from any banks or financial statements. Borrowings also should be less than or equal to 1 crore rupees from banks or financial statement at any point in time. You already know the meaning for this. Even if they have paid off everything as on 31st March, it is 0. CARO is still applicable for them if they have crossed aggregate amount more than 1 crore during the period, and which does not have a total revenue as disclosed in Schedule 3 to the Companies Act, including revenue from discontinuing operations exceeding 10 crore. That means revenue should also less than or equal to be 10 crore rupees. Is that clear? If these three conditions are satisfied, then automatically CARO will not be applicable. But if borrowings is 1.5 crores, CARO automatically becomes applicable. Are you able to understand? Now quickly let me give you two questions. Just write down. Write down these two questions. Be quick. Kirti Private Limited is a company which is having paid up share capital of 60 lakhs, reserves and surplus of 20 lakhs. Paid up share capital of 60 lakhs, reserves and surplus of 20 lakhs. Now borrowing schedule I will give you. On 1st April 2024, she had 30 lakhs. Borrowing during the year is 90 lakhs. Repaid during the year is 30 lakh. Borrowing happened about May month. Repayment happened about August month. You yourself find the closing. Now, Kirti, what business are you doing? Are you like Tata many businesses or just a single business? Only single business. What business are you doing? Tell something. Textile business. Now, like Zudio and Westside, she also has two brands. Now, revenue from Westside is 90 lakhs. Revenue from Zudio is 30 lakhs. She understood. Nowadays, people don't care about money. People only care about quality. So, she has shut this Zudio during the year. She has shut the Zudio during the year. So, as on 31st March, if you see, only Westside will be there. Yes or no? Zudio is no more there. Now, you please tell me whether CARO applicability is there or not. Why? Borrowing, what happened? It crossed 1 crore because here when she purchased, even though in the end it is less than 1 crore at any time during the year. And what about revenue? Revenue. Now say for example borrowing only 30. Next scenario. Borrowing only 30. Now CARO is not applicable or CARO is applicable? Who and all is saying not applicable? If you are saying something, be firm and raise your hand. Then only you will get the clap. Who and all are saying are applicable? What about the others? I am saying it is applicable because it is 10 crores. It is not 1 crore. You thought it is. I also thought it is 1 crore. Now keep it as 900 lakhs. Kirti is a big company. Kirti, you have to tell me. 900 and 300 you make it. Now will it come? Yes, it is applicable because even this discontinued operations revenue is also revenue which is pertaining for that year only. So, it will be applicable. There are three things which you have to keep in mind here. Paid up share capital plus reserves you will have to take. Borrowings from banks and also financial institutions you will have to take. And you have to remember at any point in time if it exceeds 1 crore you will have to consider. And with respect to revenue you will have to include even discontinuing operations. Now you all see this and tell me whether this is a small company. Is it a small company? Is it a small company or not? Small company means what? Paid up share capital should be less than 4 crores and turnover should be less than 40 crores. Is turnover less than 40 crores? Paid up share capital, what happened? Less than 4 crores? Is it a small company? For small company, you are all saying CARO is applicable, looking at borrowing and looking at sales, discontinuing operations and all. It's a small company. I told you the limits of small company. Each and every exam they are giving like this and then they are talking about a small company there. Each and every time they tested applicability, the same way they are testing and same mistake you all are doing. Please don't forget the small company limits. CARO vandale. Yes, borrowing at any point in time. Revenue, including discontinued operations. All of that you will remember. You are thinking that is the twister. But, small company, vittachu. Small company limits are also there. 4 crores, 40 crores. How many times I asked? 4 in the pakko, 40 in the pakko, 4 in the pakko, 40 in the pakko. How many times I told? Still you all forgot. Kirti Limited is still a small company. So, CARO is not applicable in this example. Is that clear? Very, very clear. Whenever in your exam, I'm telling you now, in your exam, if there is a CARO applicability question, yes, you can see borrowing, revenue including discontinued operation, all that you have to see, but do not forget small company. All of you made that mistake. Not a single person actually thought about this. Yes or no? Not even a single person thought about this. Write in your book, do not forget small company limits. Write in your book, you have written that title CARO, correct? Next to that title, you please write, do not forget small company limits. Right, I made a blunder. Please write, I made a blunder in class. Ma'am mentioned the small company limits multiple times. Write it, really I'm saying write it. Even though she mentioned, I made a blunder. Now write the limits of the small company there itself. Write it as a sentence. I made a blunder. I need to see in everybody's book which is having that word blunder. Please write. Online guys, are you all with me? Where are you? Did you all try to answer when I asked that Kirti Limited question? You also please write. Small company limits also there itself you write. So just the day before the exam when you're going through the notes, you will see CARO, you will see the small company limits. எதுக்கு இத சம்பந்தமே இல்லாம CARO பக்கத்துல எழுதி வச்சிருக்கோம் அப்படினு that time also you will think. CARO க்கு why I have written small company limits. That's why I said write that sentence. I made a blunder. Then immediately you will remember how much I scolded. Clear guys? With this, CARO is not over. One important thing I want to tell you. Whenever, small thing only, but important thing. Whenever they ask a question from CARO, there is a way to write the answer. How you are going to write it is, you are going to write the clause number of para 3 because all of CARO's clauses is given under this para 3 of the order. Of para 3 of the Companies Auditors Report Order 2020. This also fully you have to write, not CARO 2020. This is the way to write whenever they ask a CARO question. Applicability கேட்கும்போது நீங்க தான் மேம் way to write சொன்னீங்க. So I wrote like this. Please do not do that. Applicability separate. All the 21 clauses separate. Clear guys? Here whatever clause they are referring to, you can mention that clause number here. Clause whatever of para 3 of CARO 2020. This is, if you start the answer like this, the person who is evaluating will become happy. Oh, she has understood and she's come. She knows what she is writing. Because the way to present is also important. Alright guys, with this, CARO is completed. Over. Welcome back guys after the short commercial break. Now, let's quickly see what is there in CARO. This one I did not write. A student like you all wrote this, and you know what? His age is 61. 61, and he made this CARO short form in a single page. He has actually written everything, including applicability. Now, quickly let's revise using his notes. Now, this is because he did so beautifully. Come back guys. How many clauses are there? 21 clauses are there. I hope all of you remember. Yes. Clause number 1. Under fixed assets. The first point is talking about records. The records for tangible, the details and the situation must be there. For intangible, full details must be there. Physical verification, whether at reasonable intervals, whether it is there, and if there is any material discrepancy, you will have to check. What is the title deeds of the fixed assets? If it's an immovable property, then there was a format which is given below. If the revaluation percentage is more than 10%, if pending proceedings again pending Pinami Transactions Prohibition Act, then that also you will have to mention that separately. Clause number 2 is only 2 points in the clause number 2. Physical verification has to be done, and if there is any discrepancy more than 10 percentage, then you will have to check that and write that separately. For aggregate working capital loan more than 5 crores at any point in time, what should you check? That the quarterly statement which has been filed with the banks or financial institutions must be as per the books of accounts. Legs provided to subsidiary joint venture associate, outstanding plus aggregate, to other than subsidiary joint venture associate, same outstanding and aggregate. Apart from this, there are more points. What are the other points? Should not be prejudicial to the interest of the company. There should be a repayment schedule. If there is any loan given for an on-demand loan, then that has to be separately. If it is overdue for more than 90 days, then that also has to be separately given. Any fresh loan has been given to renewed or to extend an existing loan, then that has to be separately mentioned. Now, leaks provided under section 185, 186. Deposits, section 73 to 76. Cost records, section 148, subsection 1. For statutory dues, there is disputed statutory dues and undisputed statutory dues. If it is a disputed statutory due, then you have to give the amount and the forum in which it is pending. Undisputed statutory dues, if it is outstanding for a period of more than 6 months, you will have to mention that. Undisclosed income, unrecorded income, but you have disclosed it in the current year under the income tax assessment, then the details of the amount which has been surrendered has to be given. Next comes repayment of loan. The company has defaulted in principal or interest, then there is a format which you will have to follow. If the company is a willful defaulter, then he has to mention that separately. If the term loan is used for any other purpose, then amount and the nature of that loan has to be given. Short-term loan is used for long-term purposes, then that also has to be told separately. If the amount is taken to meet the obligation with a subsidiary joint venture associate, or if an amount is taken with the equity percentage with the subsidiary joint venture associate, that means for subsidiary joint venture associate, then that also has to be mentioned separately. Issue proceeds by way of IPO and FPO, section 42 and 62. Clause number 11 is talking about fraud. Any fraud on the company or by the company has to be mentioned. Section 143 subsection 12 says if the amount of fraud is less than 1 crore, then you have to mention to the board of directors and audit committee. If it is more than or equal to 1 crore, then you will be telling the central government in form number ADT 4. Nidhi company, what are the two rules that has to be the net owned funds is to deposit should be in the ratio of 1:20 and 10% of unencumbered term deposits must be there. If there is any default in repayment, whether it is principal or interest and whether there is a default, you will have to mention that separately. Related party transaction, what is the section? Section 177 and section 188. Internal audit must be commensurate with the size and nature of the business and whether the statutory auditor is considering the report of the internal auditor. Non-cash transaction, section 192. RBI registration, section 45IA of the RBI Act, whether he has to get himself registered or whether he is undertaking any non-banking financial activities or housing financial activities, and whether there are any core investments companies. If there are, how many are there? Number only, if you mention it is enough. Cash losses, you just need to mention the amount of cash losses. If there have been a resignation for current year and previous year, very good. Resignation of statutory auditors. If there was any resignation, then you will have to check what are the issues, objections and concerns which are raised by the outgoing auditors. Going concern, you will have to see whether there is a material uncertainty and whether they are able to pay off all the liabilities within a period of 12 months. Next is CSR. Two parts, ongoing project, other than ongoing project. If it is still ongoing, you will be transferring it to a special account called a section 135 subsection 6 for ongoing project. Other than ongoing project is 135 subsection 5. You will be transferring within the 6 months from the end of the financial year. Clause number 21 is consolidated financial statements. If there is a qualification or adverse remark in the consolidated financial statements, then the para number of the CARO in which that qualification was there, you just have to mention that. That's it. Then we went to applicability, where every company, including a foreign company except a banking company, insurance company, section 8 company, 1% company or a Small company, paid up capital less than or equal to 4 crores and turnover less than or equal to 40 crores. Do not forget. And if it is a private limited company, if they are under this, that is paid up share capital plus reserves less than or equal to 1 crore as on 31st March, and borrowings at any time from banks or financial statements have gotten more than 1 crore, and if turnover including discontinued operations, if it is more than 10 crores, then only CARO becomes applicable for them. Now, what is written here? Public company should not be a holding company. Public company should not be a subsidiary company for this reporting entity. Are you able to understand? If it is there, then it automatically becomes a big company. Big company, what is applicable? CARO is applicable. Isn't that easy, guys? Very easy.